gentlemen, may I direct your attention to something quite extraordinary?
You're talking to two guys from Hialeah and West Kendall and one with a Raleigh Fingers mustache, so I think you're good.
Ricky Vaughn style, baby.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well,
Who flips their bat like that in a single?
I'm here for
A guy that's hitting 200, bro.
Listen, you paid $5 for your ticket, even if you're sitting behind home plate.
Gets paid the big bucks. He knows a little better than I do.
And he's very handsome.
So handsome.
super
Great.
handsome. Super
Your
handsome.
expectations as a Marlins fan should have changed by now.
All the feels, man. Like, I love Pablito so much.
Lineup doesn't take what you're balling.
It depends on what you give up,
I
man.
don't like that question, Danny.
I don't.
Why would you let me see it if I can't have it? Like, I feel like the Marlins.
Jerk.
Starting staff has looked so much better.
All three of them.
I'm looking forward to this one, guys. I believe.
The Marlins have the worst run differential in the National League.
Oh man, now this was the wrong choice, but
I am ready to get hurt again.
Welcome, everybody, to episode number 33 of the Battered Marlins Fans Podcast. I am your host, Daniel Granada, and alongside me, as always, is other three battered fans. Let's go around the clock. Mr. Brenton Griffin, how are you doing, sir?
Oh man, I'm just glad I'm seeing more action than the Marlins offseason. That's for sure.
What kind of action are we talking about?
Congrats on the sucks.
Hey,
Yeah, no, for real.
I was going to say that.
hey, you can't steal it. I tweeted it out. You didn't.
How's it going, Callie?
You want to know how it's going, Danny?
Yes.
You want to know
Take
how
it
it's
off.
going?
Take it off.
Oh, no. Oh, wow.
Whoa. Look at that.
Breaking news on the Battered Marlins Fans Podcast.
Okay.
Peter
post is
Bendix
in.
has traded Cali for a player to be named later.
Cash
Adrian, if you think
considerations,
Spazzy's wearing the wrong gear, check out your boy Orioles over here. Oh, what happened to Spazzy? Spazzy disappeared.
I think he
what
got
the heck?
maybe he's
Alright.
stripping down. He's gonna do this one in a birthday suit.
Yeah, possibly.
Oh,
There he
yeah.
goes. There he goes. All right,
Oh, there he
Spaz,
is.
how you doing, sir? You randomly disappeared on us.
I tried to write back to Adrian. I think I logged myself out.
Yeah.
He said I was wearing the wrong gear.
It's been a while.
It's been a long day, so I'm pretty tired. I took a half day. I went golfing, and
50, by the way.
Poor baby.
next time I gotta bring out Cali. But I told him it's got to be a teacher planning day so we can get out there early and all that. So yeah, I'm ready to talk some baseball and all that.
Well, let's talk some baseball. And actually, we were gonna originally start with FanFest. Last time we spoke was the week before FanFest, and we figured, okay, let's talk about our experience at FanFest for Spazzy and I that were actually there. But we actually had some transactions happen. One, do you guys remember, or did you guys hear who we traded for?
I did. Jonah Bride of the
Yeah.
Oakland Athletics.
And Jonah Bride. And I thought to myself, okay, let's see. I never heard about this guy. Let's check this guy out.
That's
And then I
the
checked him
problem.
out. Oh, boy.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know who this guy is
So-
at all.
Last year, he had 88 at bats. His average was 170, on base percentage 286, OPS 491. For his career, at least his average was better. It was 192. Third base. What are we doing here, Callie? Are we trying to win games? Is that what you threw on the Orioles hat?
Brother, I don't know what the expectation is anymore. I know that Bendix said, and Skip has kind of reiterated they're kind of happy with what they have. But we've been linked to maybe trading for Willie Adames, who's a solid shortstop. I think he'd fit in great here. I think he'd kind of align with the message of what the team's trying to do. Linked to Tim Anderson, which is something
Yeah.
especially Brand's been clamoring for.
Yep.
Over a year.
For over a year. There's plenty of other serviceable shortstops available, and us trading for a guy at a position where we basically don't have any depth tells me that this is what we're rolling with. I'm losing more and more faith that we're actually going to do something productive or do something significant. And with this move, we DFA'd Groshans, who, wasn't great, but he, displayed a bit of power, hit a bomb with us last year.
By the way, Jonah Bride was DFA'd last week before he got traded.
Yes,
Yep.
correct. So and he got DFA'd from the A's. His numbers aren't good.
That's an organization you want to pick up rejects from. Let me tell you.
In last year, in 106 at bats or 106 plate appearances, he struck out 22 times, 170 batting average. He had a WAR of negative 0.4. Like
Real
that means
solid.
he's actually, whenever there's a negative, that means you're costing your team games more than you're not.
I think we're getting all these guys to try and replace Gene Segura because he was like a negative 1.9 or something.
They're trying to somehow add up to that.
Net positive, but I don't see the value in that move. If that's the move you're gonna make, just roll with Xavier Edwards. Just fuck it, roll with some of the young guys.
I don't think this guy was brought in to be the starter because from what
no, absolutely
I think
not.
He plays all over the infield. I think he has like 900 innings at catcher or something like that as well. I think Fish on First reported that and broke down that he's basically the ultimate infield utility man, which that's fine.
I don't know. You get DFA'd by the A's,
pencil, but
yeah. You get DFA'd by the A's. I've lost all confidence. Spaz, how you feeling about this offseason?
I don't like it at all. I mean, I haven't had any fun. I think the reason why Martin's Twitter is just arguing about teal and black and what colors we need to be is because there's been a lack of moves. So it's been awful. It's been really not a lot of fun to be a fan of this team right now. So, I mean, I don't know what else to say about it except that it sucks.
Do you guys not think that this team, because it's not much different from what it was last year. It's basically the same without solar power. But we have Josh Bell now. We have Berger now, right? Because we only had them for the last couple months.
Yeah.
We have Yuri Perez to start the season. Sandy wasn't consistent last year. You don't think this team is good enough to have a similar record, be 500, 81, 81?
Okay, so a couple things to consider. Now with the off season, we've been able to kind of process how the season's gone and things like that, and we got into the playoffs and stuff, but again, we had a terrible run differential all season. We definitely had some weird wins, and enough for those will push you along. We lost a lot of power numbers in solar. We've lost a lot of depth because we don't have solar coming back. We don't have Yuli coming back.
Yeah, but you lost depth at DH. Like you can pick up another DH. I'm not too worried about that.
We signed Trey Mancini, who's gotten significantly worse over the last 4 seasons. A guy that can maybe still be productive. He can still probably make it through.
He's going to be this season's Johnny Cueto. That's my prediction.
Mancini, I think he can slot in and he can kind of be a Gurriel. I think he can have that type of productivity. Nothing outstanding, but a veteran presence and all that stuff. But I just don't see what we've lost plenty and we haven't really added anything. So I'm hoping that between now and maybe sometime in spring training, maybe they use spring training to showcase some of these guys that, we move maybe one of the plethora of arms that we have for a pretty decent bat, even like if it's like a near major league ready guy that we can kind of plug in. Like I think that I think that would be solid. And there's guys out there that we can go get that probably won't be too expensive. We just have to give up maybe, a Cabrera or Rogers or one of those types.
But do you think that there's guys that do you really think it's worth trading somebody like that? Because the free agent market,
yes.
I say you go out there and you take a flyer on like a guy like Tim Anderson or Rosario's still out there. take a flyer on one of those two guys, keep your pitching, and see what happens. Because what's also important to remember is in the run-in for the second half, Solar was injured for most of the second half. Like Berger and Bell carried the team in that thing. So I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility that we're around a 500 team. But I do think that the trade deadline is going to be very telling for this team, because if we're not around 500 by the trade deadline, I can see us just offloading the hell out of people.
My only issue with I think signing an Anderson or a Rosario would be great. But I think in order to, I'm trying to think into what the Marlins are trying to do now, what Bendix's message has been, and a lot of it has been, let's restock the farm system. We need to get guys developing through the system and stuff like that. So by moving, well, because truly what we have is we have 7 startable guys, 7 guys who can be big league rotation guys. Obviously we know Sandy and Yuri are off the table. We're going into this year, we're not going to have Sandy. So our rotation is going to look something to the effect of Luzardo, Yuri, Garrett, Cabrera, and I'm guessing Rogers. And then, maybe you can make a case for Max Meyer, Dave Weathers, one of those types of guys.
No Sixto.
I mean, maybe, but my bet is that Sixto's DFA'd at some point during spring training.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I think you can move one of those guys and get a guy that's been productive in AA or AAA that can either make the jump right away to at least be a depth piece.
Yeah, but we have that in the system though. We have Amaya and we have Cappy. Those are guys like that can probably come up at some point within this year or next year and start. So if you get a Tim Anderson to fill the gap and you don't have to give up one of your starting pitchers, I'm all for that move every day of the week.
I'm saying like, look. I mean, yeah. I'm wearing the hat, fine. But you look at a move like the Orioles just made. They went and got Corbin Burns, but they gave up, and Milwaukee got guys like DL Hall and Joey Ortiz that haven't had a ton of big league time. But those are guys that are going to plug in and be productive for that team right now. That's a move. We don't have a Corbin Burns. We don't have a top 5 pitcher in baseball, but we can move a I wouldn't want to move Cabrera. He's pretty low on the list of guys I want to make just because I think he's probably the most valuable. But
we don't have a top 5 pitcher per se at the moment because Sandy's injured. But don't you think that Yuri showed the capability to become that?
Sure. The issue is that Yuri's only 20, 21.
I think you're disrespecting Braxton Garrett right now, Callie.
Well, I agree.
I love me some Braxton Garrett.
But like you guys,
Alejandro?
You guys made a great point last time when I brought up Braxton Garrett and about why nobody's trying to get him in a trade. It was always Luzardo's name being put out there. That for some reason he's not really valued as much as Luzardo is.
I don't think it's that he's not valued. I think it's just that the Marlins have made it clear that they don't want to move him.
Have they?
I believe so. The thing is, it's the easiest ones to move off right now is going to be obviously Luzardo because he's in that prime age. He's been proven productive. His numbers have gone better every year. And then Cabrera with the projectability because he throws 1,000,000 miles an hour. He has a 92-mile-an-hour changeup. The walk numbers are terrible, but he's still young. You can do something about that. Garrett's he's a lefty, doesn't throw terribly hard, but he's good. He's consistent. But I think that's a guy that the Marlins want to keep and really let develop. I think he's more the Marlins mold, whereas Cabrera can bring in a lot in trade value. Not that I necessarily want to move off of Cabrera, but I'm saying if we're looking at immediate trade value right now, I'd say Luzardo, of guys that the Marlins would move, I'd say Luzardo and Cabrera are those guys right now.
Spaz, you wanted to say something?
No. I mean, I forgot my train of thought, but
okay.
Yeah, let's keep it moving.
All right. Well, since we were on the topic of trades, I want to say last month, we had heard, and Callie had also heard, I think you were the one that brought it up, that there's a chance that everybody's on the table. Yeah. Don't be surprised if all of a sudden you see moves. We are a few weeks away, like 2.5 weeks, give or take, from the spring training. Do we feel comfortable in saying we now know what our roster more or less looks like? We don't expect any moves within the next 2 weeks or so?
I don't.
I don't think
you
so.
Don't. I feel like this is it. I don't think we're gonna see anything.
I think this offseason, like you can look at the free agent market, like has been very slow to develop. There's still like a lot of quality guys out there. So you have to think like once some of those dominoes fall and like people miss out on the guy they wanted, maybe they go back into the trade deadline. But I don't think this roster's set until we get to opening day. I think if the right offer comes in, Bendix is pulling the trigger.
From here till spring training, Spaz, I want you to tell me, what do we get more of? Player acquisitions or Kepler TikToks?
Kepler TikToks 1000%. That dude loves being on camera. That dude loves
I've noticed
getting a gym session in and walking down and rehearsing some like Wolf of Wall Street quotes and some shit. Like this guy loves that shit. Little thirst trap.
Bazzy, I think we got to get you on TikTok, man.
I'll go
start doing this for us.
Quoting some random. What was that quote that he said? Like something about sweat is the drug or something like that. Like
I don't have TikTok, so I don't
something
know.
like sweat is the better drug or something.
Yeah. I don't have TikTok.
That guy's been here for 2 weeks and he's already so Miami. It hurts.
Well, no, I don't have TikTok either. But I mean, it's all over the place because it's so people like just repost it and saying that sweat is the other drug. Get out of here, brothers.
Go do something in the office, dude. And I don't mean the gym. I mean like the office.
There's too many people in the office. The Marlins don't have the office space anymore because they just hired like 4,000 nerds to take over.
Yes, absolutely.
They're looking for new leasing, a new building to lease.
That's the problem, and I think that's like again a huge just issue with the offseason that there's been more action in the front office and hiring people and just stuffing more people in Marlins Park to work and crunch numbers. And there's just nothing to get excited about. I'm not going to get excited about some people who are in an office in there. You know, that's their job. No, I care about the guys. I care about the guys
bringing these people in so that it boosts the game day attendance. Yes. That's all it is. Now they can say an extra 400 people attend every game. There you go. We're no longer bottom of the league by the end of the year.
We were bottom of the league last year, wasn't we?
No, we weren't bottom of the league. I think we're close though.
We're mid-table. We're Everton.
Don't you ever compare us to Everton again, Spazzy. I will come over there and rip that
mustache off. Much more recently.
I had to.
All right. So it looks like I think we're done with the trades. Like you guys said, maybe some free agents are still out there. Maybe we'll pick somebody up in free agency. But as far as big moves, I wouldn't expect anything.
No.
And even a player leaving, I wouldn't expect anything in the trade market anytime soon. But I guess we'll wait and see. But since we last spoke, we had FanFest. Now, unfortunately, Brenton and Callie couldn't go. Spazzy and I did go. Now, there was an issue for me. My kids had a science event at their school. It started at 6 o'clock. So I had to choose whether I went when it first started, between 4 and let's say 6 o'clock, and then go to the school, or go after the science thing and go from 8 to 10, because they announced that it was going to go from 4 to 10 o'clock. I thought, perfect. I'll just go at the end so I can watch the fireworks also. So I'll tell you about my experience. But Spazzy, I know you were there earlier than I was. How was it when you first arrived to FanFest?
I got there maybe an hour after it started. FanFest is, I've gone every year just because, you know, I'll go with my wife and we'll go with some friends. It'll be a fun thing, whatever. Like, it's just not for me. I don't care to meet players. I don't care to take pictures. I don't care to, like, I just love baseball. I like watching the game of baseball. So, like, FanFest is not for me. What I didn't see a lot of, which I've seen in the past, is vendors selling, like, old vintage memorabilia. That was not a thing there. They were selling a ton
that's
of
what
beers.
you like, right? That was the only reason you went.
Yeah, I like buying. Like, I have a ton of 97, 93, 2003. I have a ton of just vintage shit, and I just didn't see any vendors there like doing that.
Shout out to PJ, just new sub.
Welcome.
Oh yeah, what's up, man?
Welcome, man.
Yeah, it's a shit show.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just didn't see that, and then the new merchant, any new merchandise, it was basically the same as last year. So like, I really didn't care to buy anything, and then it was all I felt like super inflate. It was so expensive. Like a hat was like $50. I was like,
but that's regular prices though.
Now, no, dude, I could buy a hat for like $35-$40. Now it's like
Depend. Is it a dad hat? Because if it's a fitted, they're going for $40 to $50 now.
Yeah.
That's the regular going price.
The fitteds are 41 on Fanatics. I was actually looking earlier today.
That is stupid, man. I don't know. I was gonna buy one. I was like, nah, I can't. Like, this is just dumb right now.
That's why Spazzy's in full on Panthers gear, man. That whole outfit cost him $12.
This is a Marshall special right here. So
I found that at Ross.
FanFest was not good for me. And then leaving, I left Chris from I saw Chris from Battered Herons, and we had a couple words, and it was nice seeing him. And then he said he was going to meet up with you. So then your experience was,
right. I showed up at give or take 8 o'clock, let's say.
Yeah.
I thought I had a solid 2 hours to enjoy whatever they were going to do. So we get there, and the first thing I do, I meet up with Chris, and because he has kids, I have kids, they're friends, so we meet up with them so we can start going around. We stop at one spot to buy my son, I want to say it was a chicken sandwich or something, and my daughter a hot dog. My wife is pregnant, so once we're done with the kids, thank you. Once we're done with the kids, it's time to go get my wife some food. They started shutting down all the restaurants at like 8:20.
Oh shit!
The event doesn't end until 10 o'clock. Why on earth are you closing down the food 2 hours early? Like, if you say 4 to 10, feed me at least 4 to 9.
Yeah.
So we didn't get to eat. The stores are shutting down. They're not allowing anybody to go to the outfield section because apparently the fireworks look better behind home plate. I don't care where they look better from. Let me stand and sit wherever I want. Like, this isn't like an actual game. Like, why are they forcing me to sit behind home plate? Because they want to take a cute picture and make it look like it's full. That's why. They want everybody in one little section so that it looks like, hey, look, FanFest, we had a good turnout. No, it wasn't a good turnout. It really wasn't that crowded. I didn't get to eat. I didn't see anything special as far as memorabilia or any new gear at the fan store. I saw a couple players. I think I saw AJ Puck there taking pictures with people, but I'm not that guy. I don't care about taking pictures with these guys. FanFest, to me, it was a disaster. And maybe if I would have gotten there early, I would have had a different experience.
No,
if you were there from 8 to 10, it sucked ass.
The more excited you get, the more your New York comes out, which is something I absolutely love.
I love it.
Well, I
was waiting for this one to come out.
No, I don't do that. The Italian.
Yeah. I'm walking here.
And if you would have gotten there early, honestly, it just would have been more food spots available. But it wasn't.
But that's what we wanted.
Yeah, it wasn't anything crazy. Honestly, I felt like they did an awful job. It was not a fun time. I had one beer. I was waiting for my nephew who he does like taking pictures with like players and stuff. So I was waiting for him. But I was having a beer in the outfit, and I was like, what am I think I tweeted, I was like, what am I even doing here? This is fucking awful. And I did like that the roof was open, so I got to I do love our park with the roof open, so I enjoyed that.
The fireworks were cool.
I didn't even see that. I left. I was like, all right.
I would have liked it more if it would have been eating or drinking something as I watched it. But yeah, they were cool anyway. I will give a shout out to I don't know if it was DJ Mercury, but whoever the DJ was that night, they were on it. Like, it was good music playing while I was there. That I'll give them to them. The DJ, whoever was DJing there.
I didn't even.
That would have been awesome.
But yeah, if it was Mish, that would have been awesome. Yeah.
Nah, it was a lot of reggaeton when I got there. But me and my wife were like, well, at least the music is good. So, but yeah, it was very unfortunate. It's the first fan fest for me, and I was very disappointed. So Marlins do better and you know what? If you say 4 to 10, at least let me eat 4 to 10. Like, all you're doing is losing money, at least. So,
well, 4 to 9, an hour to clean up, and
all right, 4 to 9. But why are they shutting down like a little after 8?
Yeah, I get it.
They killed me. All right, so that was FanFest. Like I said, nothing crazy, but I feel like the most engagement I saw on Marlins Twitter over the offseason happened just a couple days ago. I forget the kid's name. Is Isaac?
Isaac Azut.
Isaac Azut.
Okay. He sent out a tweet where he said that everybody should be happy that we're getting the blue jerseys because the teal jerseys should only be for anniversary seasons.
No, because it'll lose its allure
Well, you know what?
If you see it every
Tec-
time.
te-
So I just
technically it
saw
does.
Spazzy's jersey behind him, and
Yeah.
fuck it, I hate it. It's too many times.
No. He has a point to an extent, right?
No, he
It's
doesn't.
cool because we
It's
never
a bad
see it.
point.
But I'm okay them not bringing back that same exact jersey. But those are our colors. Give us those colors back. Do it in a different design, but those colors should be the main colors. Look, I'm rocking the Miami Heat shirt. What's the Miami Heat? Black and red, always. They could do Vice City. They could do whatever they do. You know it's black and red always. Dolphins, as shitty as their colors are, it's aqua and orange always. It's always aqua and orange. Doesn't matter what they do. They change the logo. They change the design of the jersey. It's always aqua and orange. There's no reason as to why the teal should not be representing the Miami Marlins.
So I'm gonna go ahead and say that, Isaac, we appreciate the work you do and the work that Fish on First does. I'm gonna get that part of the way. It's not that we dislike.
Oh, no, not at all. And by the way, I think that it's amazing. I think it's amazing that he was able to single-handedly get that going, because I mean, Marlins Twitter. I'm part of a lot of sports Twitters, like, I don't know, communities, I guess you could say. And the Marlins is one of the more, and I don't mean this as an insult, but like one of the more dead ones. Like, there's not a lot of going on in the Marlins Twitter world, but he got it going. So good job for you, Isaac, because obviously you have a pulse of the people when it comes to the Marlins.
I will say and I tweeted this, the real correct answer is just to make the black and teal permanent. Like, it's not, it's not a matter of like, oh, just we need to save it for special occasions. No, we don't. This is something that the fans almost near unanimously want. I'm not gonna say unanimous because there's one or two dickheads out there that think we should keep the blue and red or whatever the fuck we got going on now.
And if there's one of them, and I swear to God, if he sends out one more tweet about it, I'm gonna go off on him in the next episode. And he knows who it is, and you all know who it is.
Yeah, but I'm the blue and red, it's fine, but it's just not Miami. It's genuinely not Miami. It's not the Marlins. And I don't know if it was Marlins historian, big fan of the show. I know Jonathan Rodriguez tweeted out something similar, that he's another one in the Fish on First family of conceptualizing the current look that we have, like the font, the M and everything, but just using the black and teal. Like, I don't think that's a stretch. And again, and I've said this a million times, we've seen the Orioles do it, we've seen the Padres do it, we've seen the Blue Jays do it, we've seen the Astros do it, that they went away from that original iconic color scheme and the original iconic jerseys, and they all came back to it because it's what sells. Like, the thing is, you walk around, even you go to Marlins games, people aren't wearing the blue and red. They're wearing black and teal. People are wearing the hat that Branton's wearing. People are wearing the jerseys that are behind Spazzy right now. Like, I get like the generic fanatic shit here that we get, but when I go to the game, I want to wear my Dontrelle Willis jersey. I'm wearing the Teal Friday merch that they sold. That's the stuff that all sold out. It's the stuff that at certain points of the season you couldn't get anything. The 30th anniversary all teal hat, it sold out immediately.
Yeah, that was a bitch to find last year.
Yeah.
Yep.
But I think that was the biggest issue with that tweet. And like, it's honestly, I think the lack, I think I told you guys, the lack of moves has made Marlins Twitter focus on this one thing, which is the fucking uniform, which is awful because it's just, there's a Dolphins account called Make Throwbacks Permanent. And they are very everything is so focused on that, and it's a little much. Like, listen, I want to throw back Dolphins as well. But it's a little much, and like this offseason has focused on that. I saw you, Dan. This offseason has focused so much on like the teal that I am over it. But to his point that it's like, oh, get over it. It's like, no, like I think he said that like it wasn't a big difference or something like it. No, when you would go to Throwback Fridays, man, like it was an entire vibe. Like people were loving it.
Listen,
the attendance had to be better because I saw more people there. So I don't know. That was a very weird thing to throw out there. I don't know what he thought, but the quote retweets and the replies were not very good.
Listen,
for him.
We do have to cut Isaac some slack because I don't think he was old enough to remember when we played in the teal.
And that's another
And that
thing.
could be a personal thing. Like, and I'm not like, I am saying that a little bit to be funny, but I'm also saying like, he may not have the same memories that we have in the teal. Like, all my good memories of this team are in some version of black and teal. It's not in blue and red. It's not. And I think the majority of Marlins fans would agree. Like, it's time to bring the teal back. And where I disagree with you, Spazzy, where they were, if the offseason was busier, maybe we wouldn't be talking about the teal. I think we would have, because that guy on the broadcast said they brought the blue in to replace Flashback Fridays.
Yeah,
I-
they're gonna play with that on Fridays.
Is the reason we're talking about it, and we would have, whether we had signed Bellinger and Tim Anderson last week.
You're right,
I think we still would talk about it.
Which they should have just left that Friday on, but and some people like the blue. I'm not a fan of the blue. I don't really care for it.
Honestly, the blue looks like a spring training jersey.
It does, and that's
Well,
what
because
it
it
is.
was, wasn't it?
Visualization
Yeah.
of the spring training jersey. But I do think I know somebody was saying like you have to have the current design for like 5 or 6 years or something, and then you can change it. And then when they pointed out that we may be in the last year of that window, so maybe next year, maybe they bring back the teal. But
what's one more year of fandom? Hey, let's keep it going.
I just
all I'm asking for is the colors. That's all I'm asking for. I
just don't understand. Like there are so few instances throughout sports that all fans are unanimous in something, and the Marlins fans are damn near unanimous and just wanting the black and teal. Like, even if you go through like big league accounts or these Twitter accounts and Instagram accounts that like cover baseball or the historicity of baseball, they reference Gary Sheffield in the teal. They reference Charlie Huff. They Josh Beckett, Mike Lowell, Miguel Cabrera, Alex Fernandez, Al Leiter, Edgar Renteria, Craig Counsell, Bobby, like these guys, like all the history is tied up in the black and teal.
Well, and I'm gonna throw this out there too. Yuri Perez made his debut in teal.
It's true. We were there.
Nice.
We were there for that.
Giancarlo Stanton made his debut in teal.
I have a question for you guys.
I'm the real ones
remember Mike Stanton.
Mike Stanton. That's right.
Yeah.
I have a question for you guys. If you could pick just one throwback that comes back permanently, would it be black and teal or the white and teal pinstripe that we saw last year? Because I asked because Kylie keeps bringing up the black and teal, so I have a feeling that he favors that one. I prefer the white and pinstriped.
So my favorite Marlin uniform ever was the one that just had the F and the fish on the chest. Do you remember that? It was a white one. It was a white one, but it had the just the fish and the Marlin.
That was like our alternate. I remember Dontrell wearing that a couple times.
Yeah, but if I had to choose one, honestly, probably the black Marlins ones. Those were probably my favorite. The black, and then it had the Marlins in silver and the teal outline, and then obviously the black and teal hat.
Kind of like the one that Spazzy has.
I picture Cabrera every time I see that jersey. I just think Miguel Cabrera.
Like that one reminds me of the 2003 year, like winning that one. Like, and that's like, so when we won 97, I was 6-7 years old. I was young. I remember it because when you're at that age, baseball is religion to you. Like it's everything. Like these guys are magnanimous. They're bigger than life. 2003, I was already starting high school. Like I was playing baseball. I loved it. And we were going to games all the time. So I remember, like, again, the last out in Game 6, Josh Beckett's rocking the black jersey.
Mm-hmm.
I bought Beckett's glove for when I pitched, the one that had the dial on here, the Wilson dial, and it had the completely closed web. I used to put my mitt when I would pitch. I'd put the mitt right here so you can just see the eyes, like Josh Beckett, the black and rainbow. Yeah. And the thing is, I didn't. Now
good memory of that jersey though.
I didn't love the colors. I will say, and maybe this is unpopular, I like the orange and stuff more than this blue and red, to be honest.
You and Marlins, man. You and Marlins, man.
I don't like it. I like it. I think I like it more, but
I think the vest was my favorite jersey.
I was just gonna say the vest. Bring back the vest.
I love it.
I almost pulled the trigger on 8th Street. I want to say right by what was it, like 47, 37 by Ponce de Leon and 8th Street. They had a Marlins store over there.
Yeah, I used to go to it all the time.
And in the window, they had the vest jersey. And I would drive by there because I used to have to visit Navarro stores because I used to work for the district or whatever. So I used to constantly drive on 8th Street. And I would constantly drive and see that in the window. And I was like, I'm going to pull the trigger eventually on this. And I never did. And I remember I always thought, I was like, if I knew that Renteria was on the back, I would have pulled the trigger. But it was a no-name. So I was like, but I never got to pull the trigger. But yes, that one is my favorite.
So that store was on 8th and 37th Avenue. It is now an Estrella Insurance
theater. It's like a Spanish like.
It was next to it. The theater's been there. It was
the theater was to the right side of the theater.
Yeah, it was right on the corner on the northwest corner of it.
You're right. You're right. But the vest is the shit. That was the best.
Yeah,
I went to buy tickets one time, random enough. I don't know why.
My grandmother my grandmother lived not far from there. And before Marlins games and stuff, she'd take me there and like buy me, she didn't have a ton of money, but she'd get me like a shirt or a hat. And hats were obviously cheaper back then,
Yeah.
But,
that is awesome. That is awesome. All right. Well, spring training is right around the corner. So my question to you, and I'll start with you, Brighton. What are we looking forward to as far as spring training? I know you heard that Monteverde might be
only one thing, baby. Patrick Monteverde. I cannot wait to see him light up spring training and end up as our 5th starter this season.
As the 5th. Okay, so right off the bat, you think he's gonna? Okay, all right, that's cute. I like that. I like the optimism.
I'm putting it out there so it happens. Will it happen? Probably not.
According to Breton, Monteverde is starting opening day. Yeah. Tim Anderson will be behind him at shortstop.
Oh God. I swear to God, if that happens, I don't even know. I don't even know what I would do if that happened with Monteverde and Tim Anderson on the field at the same time. I'd definitely be there.
I'd build the statue myself outside of Lone Depot Park.
Of me.
Of you, yes, correct.
You're just really excited.
I think Monteverde can realistically be a bullpen guy. I don't think he has a
maybe the long reliever, like how Brack started the season in the bullpen.
Yeah. My only issue is that we have a few lefties already that are locks for the pen. So he's going to be competing with innings with Nardi and Okert and Weathers and stuff like that.
Yeah, dog Nardi.
By the way, I'm sorry.
Going to be
Nardi.
This is completely off topic, kind of, but I forgot to mention. I mentioned seeing Puck at FanFest.
Oh,
no beard.
Forgot about Puck.
No beard.
Puck's going to be. I think Puck's really going to be a starter this year.
Well, I barely recognize him. He looks so weird without a beard. I don't know how I feel about this. So
maybe it's a new year, new him. Trying to shake off the bad vibes and get him back in there.
Hopefully. So this was going to be my follow-up question here to Spaz. Spaz, and I guess I'll ask everybody. Spring training. When have you ever been to a spring training game for the Marlins in Jupiter? And are you planning on going this year?
So funny enough, as much as I love this team, I've been to fucking thousands of games. I've never been to spring training. I've never been to Jupiter.
No way.
Yeah, I've never been there. Never been. Wow. I have friends that live in the community, like right by Roger Dean, and they're always like offering to like, hey, come up and like spend the night, whatever. Never been. So this year I'm definitely gonna go. And if we can all get there on the same day, I have a buddy who works for the team. He does a lot of a lot of video for the team. And he says the first week is the best week to go. So I think we should try to make it there the first week of spring training.
Brand, you care to answer PJ's question because I'm curious as well.
Last season, if you remember, how many bullpen days did we have last season? We basically went most of the season with 4 starters.
Too many.
This is true.
So Yuri and
I feel like we had 3 starters because
Luzardo. Those are the 3 locks for the starter.
Cueto was
those are the locks for starters.
No, Cabrera ended up in AAA last year. Cabrera is not a lock for the starting position.
I would put my life on it. He's in the opening day rotation.
Fuck no.
So-
Oh my god. I
We'll
hope
see.
not.
If he has
Cabrera?
walk issues again, if he has walk issues in spring training, there's no way he's in there.
No,
I
because
think if that,
Trevor Rogers is
genuinely,
back.
if that happens, he's getting traded.
Trevor Rogers is back. Max Meyer, Monteverde, Puck apparently is being stretched out as a starter. There's competition. If he walks like 3 guys in an inning, you will not see him on the opening day roster.
I'm gonna agree to disagree, but I'm gonna swing it back to spring training.
Yeah, can you guys give me a breakdown for somebody that hasn't been there like myself? How's
never
the
been there.
experience like? Me either.
Great.
Argentina's a cool spot, man. It's a cool little.
Is it in the middle of nowhere? Are there things to
It's
do
right
around
off the
stadium?
highway. It's right off in 95.
It's right off 95. I mean, you have to take a. I mean, you take a couple
it's in
of
Jupiter.
back roads,
It's a bit,
but yeah,
especially for you, and me, Danny. It's a bit of a hike, but no, Roger Dean's a cool spot. They have like cool restaurants and bars. From what I remember, it's been years, but it's definitely been since before COVID since I've gone to a spring training game. But it's always cool. Like the atmosphere is like chill. Like, you know, obviously if you're into the prospects and you follow the guys in our system, it's really exciting because it's really the only chance you're gonna get to see them in person.
on the backfields too. Like sometimes you run into guys back there training on their own, and
yeah. So coaching
I've
as long
always
as
liked that.
coaching as long as I have, they host like the perfect game tournaments there, Junior Olympics, the perfect game All-American tournament stuff. It's all there. And we've had tournaments and you'd see guys there throwing pens and stuff like that and working out.
I met Jazz there watching my nephew in a perfect game tournament.
That's
He was
cool.
just riding around in a golf cart watching guys because he was injured.
They'll do that. But yeah, I mean, tickets used to be pretty cheap. I actually looked at it not too long ago, and tickets are like $40 now. I remember going and you'd be able to get in for like $5 or $10, like less than 10 years ago. So it's kind of crazy that they're like $40 now. But small, intimate venue, you know, not a bad seat in the house. Food's pretty solid. Again, there's restaurants and bars like right across the street.
There's like a mall around there. There's like a little mall, I think.
Yeah, but there's a restaurant right across the street. I forget the name of it right now, and I don't know if it went down during COVID or whatever. But it was always pretty popular. I don't remember the name off the top of my head, but it was literally right across the street from the parking lot on the first base side. They had some of the best blackened mahi I've ever had.
There has to be some type of vlog that goes on for those of us that can't make it to spring training, so we can show everybody what it's like to make it out to Jupiter for a Marlins spring training game. I've only made it out to Yankee spring trainings in the past, and they have that whole mini Yankee Stadium, George Steinbrenner Field, down Dale Mabry Road, Jesus, in Tampa, and it's very censored. It's right across the street from Raymond James Stadium. So
Fort Myers, I think they're still hosting the state championships for high school baseball. And one year when I was coaching, we went to states and we played at the Red Sox facility, and it's a perfect replica of Fenway. Like you have the monster.
Oh, really? I've seen it on TV. I've seen games. Yeah.
The dimensions are a perfect replica to Fenway. Very cool. So fun story. I don't know if you guys know the name Sal Stewart. He got drafted in the first round by the Reds, played for Westminster Christian. In the game at the time, we weren't in the same classification. They were in the game before us. He tattoos one like clean over the monster. Really? Like absolute fucking nuke he hit there. So
wait, the Sox aren't in Celebration? There's like an entire bar in Celebration, Florida, where it's all Red Sox. They're not there?
They have a little Fenway too, but their actual spring training facilities in Fort Myers, and the field that they play on is an exact replica of Fenway.
Oh, that's pretty cool. I didn't even know that. I remember I went to a bar in Celebration when I was in Disney, and it was just all Red Sox shit, and I did not understand why. And they're like, "Oh yeah, we're the Red Sox bar." I'm like, "Okay."
Another one that has another ones that have cool facilities. The Astros and the Twins share facility, and the stadium there is really fucking cool too. But
spring training games are fun. It's just
I miss the Orioles' old stadium in Fort Lauderdale. Now it's a dump called Drive Pink.
Oh, Miami Stadium.
Miami Stadium.
Yeah,
they used to play in Fort Lauderdale too.
Right. Yes.
I used to go to a lot of games there.
So I don't know if you guys know this, but Homestead was going to be the spring training location for at the time the Cleveland Indians, now the Cleveland Guardians. At the
I did not know that.
Yeah, where Keysgate Charter is.
Yeah,
there's I don't even know if it's still up, but there's a stadium there. And that was where the Guardians were going to have their spring training, and then Hurricane Andrew came.
Oh wow! I had no idea.
Yeah, it halted production and stuff like that, and then they moved to wherever, I'm not sure where Cleveland.
Their Winter Park.
So there you go. You're listening to Battered Marlins fans. You
get
a little bit of info on everybody. A little history lessons.
The stadium is still there. I don't think it's been in use in a while, but there was a time where if you follow Miami Hurricanes football, you'll know the name John Ruiz. He's the big NLI guy for them. He basically bought out that property where the stadium is, and he used to host tournaments there, especially for summer baseball and stuff. And it was actually like a pretty poppin' spot for like 2 summers, and kids can play in the stadium and stuff like that. And they're trying to get that going, but I guess it was too expensive to keep running. Now it's just sitting out there. So,
well, we've basically run over everything, but there's one thing that we were talking back and forth about that we figured that we'd bring up here on the show, and that is overrated and underrated baseball movies. And I'll start just because I want to poo-poo on something already.
Oh God, Jesus!
I'm gonna tell you that I believe the best baseball movie of all time is The Sandlot.
Fair.
That is what I feel. That is what I believe. Yeah. Nobody will change my mind. Now, the most overrated movie of all time, as far as baseball movies goes, and I'm gonna give you my explanation. I've never actually watched this movie.
Oh, fuck you!
You can't do that. You can't.
Yeah, well, let me give you.
I know what you're gonna say too. You're just gonna say to fucking get me angry too. I'm putting the fucking Orioles hat back on. Fuck this.
Let me give you my explanation. I believe that Bull Durham is the most overrated baseball movie of all time. Now, let me explain what. Can I explain myself?
Go.
This is my explanation.
Go.
This is my explanation. Over the last year, you guys have told me how great this Bull Durham movie is.
Great movie.
I haven't watched it yet. The reason I think it's overrated is because I had never heard of this movie until I started talking to you guys. If I had never heard of this movie, then it can't be that great.
You are probably the only person who never heard of this movie.
That's why. I don't know.
I've never even heard of this movie. Jesus. And you guys say it's the greatest thing ever. It's impossible if I've never even heard of the movie. So those are my favorite, and what I believe, without watching, is probably the most overrated baseball movie of all time. So I give the floor to whoever would like to take the reins now.
I mean, I'll go.
Go, please.
I'll let Callie cool off. I'll let Callie cool off because Kelly and I share the same favorite baseball movie, and it is Bull Durham. Because and you can ask anybody. And the reason why I know this is because it wasn't Craig Mish. It was either Glenn Geffner or Tommy Hutton who said that movie encapsulates as close as it can encapsulate to what it's like being in like the minors. Like that is what being in minor league baseball was like at the time. And that's why it's such a loved movie for baseball lovers. But then also you have Susan Sarandon. I think Callie can agree with me on that. You have Tim Robbins. You have Kevin Costner. And there's a love story and there's baseball. Get out of here, man. It's like the best movie ever. And on top of that, a ton of baseball. So it's a great movie. It's my favorite baseball movie. I'm sorry. Go ahead. You want to say something?
No, I was just going to say, I actually thought of another one because I just watched a baseball movie 2 days ago with my daughter because they gave her a homework assignment and we watched 42 together because she had a homework assignment on Jackie Robinson.
Okay. Great 42. Movie.
And it's not the first time I watched it. I had already watched it before, but I had forgotten how good it is. 42, amazing movie.
That's a great movie. That's a great movie.
All right. I feel like we should go to Cali last.
Well, hold on. Yeah. Overrated.
Oh, yes. Overrated.
Overrated movie, Field of Dreams.
Okay. Yeah, I can see that.
I get it. I don't agree, but I get it.
Yeah.
Okay. So my favorite movie is also what I think is the most underrated baseball movie, and that's For Love of the Game.
Great one. Also,
I think that is an incredible movie that not a lot of people watch.
That's good.
And that's my favorite. Like Bull Durham is number 2, and it's close. It's close. They're right there. My most overrated movie is Field of Dreams as well. It's not that I think it's a bad movie, but
No.
I think so many people watch like one scene of it and like that. Oh God, we have to talk about that one scene and that defines baseball. No, like it's a great movie, but it's overrated just because it's like, I don't know, it's just overrated in my opinion.
The issue of Field of Dreams is just that it's so long. It's like a 4-hour movie. That's a lot.
Well, and that's why, like I'm saying, like people only
gotta
watch
go
one
James
little
James
segment of it,
James.
and they're like, "Oh, I know the whole movie," and it just.
There
Just
you
real
go.
quick, Callie. PJ just threw out the Homestead Sports Complex ballpark was demolished on May 20th, 2019, after Hurricane Irma. So thank you
makes
for that,
sense.
JP.
There you go. Thank you, PJ.
Yes.
All right.
Coming in clutch.
So go ahead, Callie. I'm dying to hear what you have to say about the most overrated movies, because I know which one you're gonna say is most underrated.
Okay. So first and foremost, Bull Durham is the greatest. It's the greatest baseball movie of all time. Like, to me, there's not a close second. There are seconds, but it's not a close second. It's baseball. It's a great story, love story. Kevin Costner fucking hitting dingers, switch hitting catcher, knocking him all over the fucking yard, breaks the Minor League home run record. Spent 28 days in the show once.
28
Right.
days,
Yeah,
Danny. How many
28
Stadiums are like
days.
cathedrals, exploding
Come on,
sliders.
the
How
kid
many
from Rookie
days
of
of
the
the show
Year.
were
Long
you
legs
in,
and braids,
Danny?
baby.
The kid from Rookie of the Year spent a lot more time in the big leagues than this
Listen
guy.
to me. Listen to me. That is such a cool. We can dedicate an episode. I can probably recite that movie line for line.
Yeah,
How many times I've watched it? It is.
We
such
should do a
fucking
watch
good
along
movie.
with Callie.
Tim Robbins and Susan
We all
Sarandon
started at the
met on
same
that movie.
time.
Tim Robbins and Susan Sarandon met at that
You know
movie, and they got married. Like, what more do you want? But
They're
anyway,
still married.
Listen,
Crash Davis is one of the
I
greatest
think-
movie characters of all time.
genius idea. I hate to interrupt you, Callie, but I think we should have a battered Marlins fans watch along, and Danny live. We all together watch the movie for Danny's first time.
I think it's a great idea.
And he can react
that
to
would-
it live, and our fans can see what's happening.
If he's
That
not
would be
crying at the end, I'm fighting. I want you guys to know that. Like, we're
That
fighting.
would be a
here.
bore
I agree.
fest. That would be a bore fest. We would be bored. I'm a very boring person when I watch TV, guys. I
Okay.
would be. It would be a bore.
So those are two great answers, by the way.
Good
Moneyball's
ones.
awesome. Major
Yeah.
League. Major League's my number 2. I want to say that. Major League's my number 2.
Oh.
And all these
Um,
movies are watched before the season starts. Like I will watch all these movies, even
Yeah.
for the teams. I will watch all of them.
I watched The Sandlot for me with my kids. I watch it before opening day.
I watch all of it before opening day. But go
Yeah.
ahead.
So most overrated movie for me is probably a bit of a hot take for baseball purists. And it's definitely almost sacrilege for some people, but The Natural, don't love it. I know it's considered a classic and all that stuff, but it's honestly genuinely kind of boring. Maybe it's just it didn't age well or whatever. I actually watched it, I don't know, like 6 months ago, and I'm like, what the fuck am I doing here? Like, So I think that one's the most overrated, although it is considered very much a classic, not just in terms of baseball movies, but movies in general. Most underrated baseball. I've been struggling with this one because I feel like there's so many good ones, but one that I think that doesn't get enough love that is very, very good baseball movie is 61.
Roger Maris story, yeah.
It's the
Yeah,
Roger
that was
Maris
really-
and Mickey Mantle home run race.
That's a good one, yeah.
That one is I watched that one 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, or something like that. And man, it is. I hadn't seen it in years before that. And for the chat, so that you understand, and listeners, so you understand, we had a whole conversation about baseball movies in our personal group chat that we have.
Oh yeah.
And I mentioned 61. I'm like, man, I need to go back and watch that one, man. And I did, and it is just so good.
It's been a long time.
So good. Holds up so well.
Well, anybody watching right now on YouTube, or even if you're listening on audio, in the comments, we'd love to hear what your favorite movie is and what the most overrated movie do you think is. Which, if it's Bull Durham, I agree, and if it's not, you let me know. And then before we sign off here, we were there was some Instagram thing going on where they're sharing pictures of PJ just said 42 is very underrated. I agree. something going on with people like sharing kid pictures, and then we started talking, and I was wondering what these guys look like as kids in baseball uniforms or baseball hats or just baseball gear. And unfortunately, we couldn't get everybody, but we did get
I'll
some.
have one next time.
So here I'm gonna start with
I'm
mine.
a middle child.
Oh yes, that is how that started for sure. Right,
Oh God.
Oh no. Okay, well I'll start with mine while I try to figure out what happened to Callie's. Here is mine. That is 4-year-old Daniel. He
And
You didn't have a beard then?
I did not have a beard then. No, it hadn't fully grown in yet. And that was actually taken at my first ever game. I was 4 years old at Yankee Stadium. I went to watch Donnie Baseball and David Wainwright. Hold on, I'm trying to get Callie's up here. My fault. I hate doing this live on the show. All right. So boom. And then I'm gonna have Callie's up here right now. And then no way. I'm sorry, guys. I wanted to have this, but doesn't seem to be working. Well, unfortunately I can't get Callie's up here, but I did find Spazzies.
Do you need me to text it to you again?
There's no way you found me.
So yeah, so luckily I was able to get Spazzy's picture up here. So if you give me 1 second, I got it right there. So there's Spazzy as a newborn, wearing the teal, of course, right? Because he throws it back, and that is always a good time. Good. And for some reason, Callie, let me pull up your picture, which is very annoying right now because it says it's a HEIF image. It's not a JPEG.
I have the picture here. I can hold it up to my camera.
There you go.
Oh, there you go. Look at you, Callie. Ready for
there it is.
There he is.
That was the pick right there. We'll have a clearer picture next time. But yeah, we wanted to just share that because we thought it was funny, us as kids in the baseball garments. All right. Any final thoughts while we go around the clock? We're almost at an hour. Spaz, any final thoughts?
No, man. Just hope I don't know. Just hope something happens. And I talk a lot of shit, but I'm gonna be there on opening day, and I'm gonna support whoever the hell's on the field. But yeah, no final thoughts. I just hope something happens soon. And if it doesn't, we'll still be there opening day. Who cares?
Brenton, final thoughts.
No, just thanks PJ for subscribing. Thanks Adrian for being active in the chat. You guys are the reason we do this, and we're just happy to have you guys here. And hopefully next episode we have something more exciting to talk about.
Hopefully in 2 weeks
we're
it'll
watching
be straight training
Old
time.
Durham with Danny. That's what we should be doing.
As you sit there with your Orioles hat.
Yeah, the move's coming up very soon, so I'm repping the future home. Just 6 days until pitchers and catchers report. So we almost get some baseball content again, and 7 weeks from today until opening day. So
yeah, we'll be back in 2 weeks. Spring training will be underway, and we'll be coming weekly soon thereafter that, and it's time for baseball almost. So if you're listening on audio, we appreciate you listening all the way to the end. Please leave us 5-star, comment, review, all that other good stuff. And if you're watching on YouTube, thank you for watching all the way to the end. Please like, subscribe, share, tell your friends. And if you were with us in the comments, as always, we appreciate you joining in, chiming in. And until the next one, have a good one.